Hello HEMA friends and welcome to this new video. This is a special video because I celebrate my first 10,000 subs. So thank you very much guys for following me in this adventure, and thank you to all my patrons who support me and made me able to upload most of my content in these years. So thank you very much. But let's not spend too much time being emotional and let's jump into today's topic. As you probably already noticed, this video is about the flail, which is a topic many historical YouTubers are touching right now. So what I decided to do is to try out the flail in sparring, and more in particular the one-handed one, which is lesser common compared to its two-handed friend, while talking about sources in general. I wanted to test out if it is such a horrible, hard to control weapon as many people think, or if it is better than this, and if yes, how much. So that's how the test has gone. I gathered with two of my students, Jacopo, which mainly fences longsword, and Andrea, which also fences longsword, but thanks to his reenactment experience has some relevant background in fencing with sword and shield. They had to face me and my nasty flail in sparring with their respective weapons. The interesting thing is that no one of us either fenced with the flail or against it before, so it was the very first experience for us in using/dealing with this weapon ever. By the way, Andrea is not only fencing in this video, but is also the maker of this beautiful, let's call it, hypothesis of a realistic training flail, which I will review in a future video. So first of all, enjoy the sparring footage and then I will give you my overall sensation about this experience. Very good. I hope you enjoyed the sparring. So, my overall sensation while fighting for the first time with the flail was extremely positive. First of all, I managed to touch myself with the weight in movement just once, and considering how generally this weapon is considered hard to control, it is nothing if we consider this was my very first attempt of using it in sparring. Now, hitting with the flail is actually not that different compared to hitting with any other weapon, funny enough. Considering that you are limited to, let's call them, cutting motions, you are far more free at the same time and you can exploit the flexibility of the weapon to create interesting angles with your hand to overcome the opponent parries even more than with a stiff weapon, while not sacrificing the offensive ability of the tool at the same time. Against sword and shield, I noticed that with enough precision, hitting the front leg, if it is the shield leg I will say, tend to be an easy target to search for, compared to the sword end or arm, which indeed is harder to get. This is again because the flexibility of the weapon. I would say that you need twice the precision to search the arm compared to the leg with this kind of weapon. My weight even got stuck once while trying to hit the opponent on the arm. It wrapped over the arm and I have been left without the weapon basically. How much damage this kind of hit may do on the opponent's arm is hard to guess, but definitely the lack of precision while searching for small targets with this weapon may be indeed a problem. One interesting thing I need to point out is that my weight is made of leather and full of leather scraps. It weighs more or less as a tennis ball, but believe me, once it accelerates, it hits quite hard, especially on the head. It's funny because by looking at the footage, it seems something really light compared to a sword hit, while it's comparable to a medium intensity feather hit while received on the more rigid and lesser padded protection such as the mask. As you noticed, it is possible to trap the opponent weapon with the string, which more or less represents the chain, and I noticed that this is far better against single weapons, such as the longsword, because freeing it needs quite some work, and while being an extremely good way to control the opponent weapon to an extent, it needs to be mastered to avoid making errors with it. Once the weapon is trapped, is to me, ideal to get close to the opponent as fast as possible, free the weapon once past the opponent tip, and then hit the opponent. With the flail, it's fun because you can hit the opponent while being really close. You basically flick him on the back of the head or on his back. Carrying the shield with me was indeed interesting and it gave me something more while fencing the longsword, but against sword and shield I felt it more like a weight. The flail needs space to move around, which increases the unpredictability of its hits. I had to keep the shield really close to my body most of the time to have access to some movements. So in the end I think it had been useful, but I will probably try to fight the same weapon without it in the future just to feel the difference. In terms of fighting against the flail, both of my sparring partners told me that defending from it was really hard, and they were constantly being hit in unexpected ways, which is extremely interesting. And now some final considerations about the flail as a weapon. First of all, it's far easier to control than what I expected, at least with this handle-string ratio. I noticed that it's a weapon which needs quite a lot of precision to get used properly, which is funny because from the outside may seem the opposite, but this weapon has many possible options to exploit, and with good precision and experience with it, it is possible to strike at hidden targets, which is awesome. I also noticed that it is possible to feint with it, but I need to work on it to make everything more fluid and energetic. The lack of a thrusting option is the only thing which makes the flail complex to use at first. But this is partially compensated by the fact that it hits from many angles and many different mechanics of the arm without sacrificing too much the effectiveness of the blow and its reach. So as you noticed, the flail surprised me quite a lot, and I will definitely use it more in the future, so you will probably see more videos about it at some point. So, we are at the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for your support, people, and for helping me reaching this goal. And as always, see you next time.